wanted to get you on the show for a minute, man. I love your Instagram page, the whole aesthetic, and
Thank you.
besides the aesthetic, just the content you're putting out there and all that good stuff. So I said, finally, let's get Keisha on the show. So thank you, welcome to the House of Nerd, and thank you for coming through.
Thank you. Thank you. That made me feel really good.
That's good.
Thank
Hey,
you.
man.
I love this show.
So for those folks who might not be familiar with your content, what you're doing, Keisha, why don't you talk to the people for a second, let them know what you're about, what's your sign. We're not talking about all that good stuff, man. You got a dope blog coming out and all that, right? So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. All right. So, for those who don't know, my name is Keisha. I am the woman behind Keisha's Literary Labyrinth over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of that. It's basically where I talk about my love of books and comics. I focus mostly on speculative fiction. So, that's like sci fi, fantasy, horror, all of that. And mostly by Black, Indigenous, and other authors of color. So, yeah, I've been doing this since like what 2021. I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
And also, I have a podcast coming out at the end of the month with my friend Erica from Fabulous Magazine. It's called Nerds, Herbs, and Words. Basically, we talk about those same genres, pop culture, TV, all of that, while taking in cannabis products. So very
Hey,
excited.
hey, listen, I'm gonna be 100%. I don't partake, you know, with the sticky stuff. It's just not for me. But
Mm,
but I feel like that's a dope kind of vibe. It sounds like a great platform, and I've got the link here for folks. I'm gonna share it. Let me just copy that and then drop it in the chats for everybody to check out. Boom, there you go. You'll see it in the live chats, folks.
yay!
And so Keisha, you said you guys are going like full launch at the end of the month, did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
We already have one episode out. It's really just like an about us, how we met and all of that. But we have like several authors that we've been interviewing. Like, so we've already interviewed Terry Benton Walker, who has Blood Debts. It's a YA speculative fiction novel that's coming out in April.
Okay.
We talked to other authors like Elle Penelope, who has this book called The Monsters We Defy. It's like this historical fantasy book from in Washington D.C. The book is awesome.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man.
like we're trying to do big things. We're trying to get into the Black Comic Fest at the Schaumburg in April.
Okay.
So
Okay.
hopefully this is gonna be like something major.
Hey, hey, you know what, man? Keep doing it, man. Yeah, I'm digging what you guys are doing. Real talk.
Thank
Again,
you.
Keisha, thank you so much for coming through. Appreciate it. And I just want
Yes.
a big good morning to everybody in the live chats, man. Thank you for
Yes.
hanging out with us on this. Apparently it's Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know.
No, it's Rihanna's concert.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not a big like football fan, but I will check out the halftime show. I will check out Rihanna, do her thing. So, but other than that, I couldn't tell you who's playing or any of that, man. Talk to me about basketball or baseball, soccer, and I'm your man. But football. Are you like
See, baseball is my thing. I grew
oh,
up with baseball.
okay,
Yeah. I'm
okay,
from New York originally. My favorite team was the Mets growing up.
okay?
But
I'm glad you didn't say the Yankees, man. Oh, I
nah,
can't.
nah, 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 nah.
Okay,
My house was
Mets
very
girl.
divided. Yeah,
Okay,
Mets all the way.
okay. You're from Queens or?
Queens, yeah.
Queens, okay, because I know they're out in
Yeah.
Queens, yeah? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Like that was my first stadium I ever went to, Shea Stadium.
Wow. A lot of
Yeah.
history there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you still following baseball these days?
No.
Not so much? Okay,
Not
it's
so
okay.
much. I like going to the stadiums now more than anything. Like, even though I'm a Mets fan, I'm a huge New York fan. I love going to the Phillies stadium out in Philadelphia. I think they have
Okay,
one of the best baseball stadiums like
okay,
ever.
okay.
So you get a chance, like you gotta go. Their stadium is amazing.
I'm jelly of some of these baseball stadiums in these cities in the States. I mean, we got the dome, we got the Sky Dome out in Toronto, but
Mm.
it's not a baseball stadium like like just that old school. So I see some of the stadiums you guys have, man. It's just like wow, I like to travel and just go see a game there and stuff. And I think Philly's not too far from Film Noir, so maybe Film Noir if I'm ever down in your neck of the woods, we'll hit up a ball game. Speaking, let me give a shout out to all the folks in the
Good
chats.
morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I saw my
Hey.
buddy JP Juanito. Okay.
Hey, morning.
Yeah. I saw his comment this morning on IG. I saw he was excited to see that you're being on here. So, that's cool. Cookie Master, what's going on? Cookie, what kind of
Good
cookies you got
morning.
this morning? What are we having? I got my coffee. I got my coffee ready, but
Let's see.
no
That's a
cookie.
dope mug.
Oh, thank you, Keisha. Yeah, Superman's my
That's
guy. He's the GOAT for me. Nobody can mess with Superman. Him and the Flash. Those are my guys.
got
You
you.
got a favorite superhero?
Mm. I'm gonna say Vixen.
Vixen? I'm not
Yeah.
mad at that. Vixen's cool. Vixen's cool. The last time I read anything with Vixen was probably the JLA stuff around the
Yeah.
launch of Rebirth, which was cool,
Yeah. It
right?
was cool.
Yeah.
She did have one issue of Truth and Justice, the first one.
Okay.
But yeah, I would love for them to have I would love for them to
Shout out
have
Magpie Muse. I hope I said that right. Magpie Muse? All right.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'd love to see something with just her again.
Yeah. A solo, why not, man? We gotta give these dope characters, man. They're solo books. So
Mhm.
Swan's saying the sticky stuff. You mean the dragon? Yeah. I don't partake. I can't say. Shout out to the fresh princess.
Anika.
Yeah, the homie from the six, man. The homie. Where's regular? Where's he at, man? Where's he at? You gotta get it. I gotta get everybody on live again. Soon come. Shout
Right.
out. Good morning, One Shot Comics. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming through,
Morning.
man. I love the profile pic. Always trips me out. I love Nicholson Joker.
Yeah.
For me, that's my Joker, man. Not. Listen, that's a whole nother discussion. We can go. And then apparently, One Shot is also a Philly fan. Eagles.
See,
Okay.
Philly. I used to
Okay.
teach in Philly.
Yeah.
Philly fans they're scared of me.
Okay. Okay. And then we got Anika talking about Riri. Okay. She's down for the halftime show. Okay. All right. Philly Phil, what's going on, my man?
Phil,
You got a fan in
sup?
Phil. All right. What's going on, buddy? Thank you for coming through. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Oh, okay. Look at this. Look at this. We got real ones are Met fans.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And I saw someone in here in the what's going on. But hold on, Markelin, if you're in the live chats, how what
I'm here.
hey, what's going on? What's going on, my man?
Nothing much, man. I'm just sitting here listening to the conversation.
Morning.
Good morning.
We're getting a little meta here. Look, we got Markelin in the live chats and he's on the live stream. Hey, that's all good. How you doing, my man?
Hey, man, I'm blessed to be alive, healthy, happy, prosperous, free, all the good things, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love to hear it, man. Thank you for joining us today, buddy.
No problem, my friend.
Yes, sir.
And I'm actually going to bet on the Super Bowl or Rihanna's concert, as y'all call. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to bet on still.
What's the bet, my man?
I don't know, man, because, sports bet is actually illegal where I'm at. So it's like I have to,
Ooh.
go to, Bovado or, do, a daily fantasy site, like Prize Picks or something like that. So I'm like, I'm leaning towards Prize Picks because I'm like, well, I think I can do better with my money that way with a little bit of coins to put on there.
They just made it legal out here in Massachusetts, so I know people are going crazy with that.
I mean, they might as well legalize it everywhere. But I digress. So I'm trying to pick, because I love Philly fans because they crazy.
Yes.
And I was happy when they won, and I'm excited, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I usually go with a black quarterback, but I got two black quarterbacks this time. I'm like, I'll take it. So I'm like, all right, well, Mahomes already got the experience, but Jalen Hurts played for University of Alabama where I'm at. So I'm like, I'm leaning towards that. So I don't know.
So you know something
Yes,
about football.
Orioles.
See? Yeah.
Orioles Stadium is cool too.
Yeah, One Shot Comics saying Phillies and Orioles. I'm honestly, I see the stadiums you guys have. Jelly is the only word that comes to mind, man. Yeah, you guys have some great. I mean, I love my Skydome, but it's not the same. That's not a, And then what's I read the first episode of Truth and Justice and expected more stories and was disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
Truth and Justice, I missed that. Did I miss that?
Like it was like individuals, kind of like what they're doing with Wakanda right now, where every issue is like a different character. Yeah, different character. So it's like you got Vixen and then nothing else after that. It just sucked.
Okay. Wait a minute. This is the DC Power Collection. Is that what we're talking about? Or is it talking about something different?
I think it's different.
Okay, all right. So DC Power Collection, because everybody's talking about how Vixen popped up and now she's with Batwing. And everybody's like, how did this happen? Where did this get more of this? And I'm like, is Bronze Tiger gonna have a problem with that? Because I'm an old school comic book fan. When he was in Suicide Squad, when they were together, I was like, oh.
Yeah. Shout out, good morning, Oscar, all the way from Peru. What's going on? Buenos dias, hombre. Thank you for coming through. In just a second, in just a minute, I got a little announcement coming through. Who else we got in the chats here? We got Hip Hop's enemy, as Al says. What's going on? How's the nerd show? Hey, thank you for coming through, my man.
Hey.
You know they're doing big things over at the Team Nerd Herd podcast, man. Yeah, so we got a great show for you folks. We got Hound coming through a little later on. She's talking her upcoming Scout Comics release, and we love you. We love Fel here, man. Fellow Torontonian, always happy to put Toronto creators, in front of you guys. And then I teased on the social a little announcement. It's coming up soon, and then we're getting into, we might as well get into it now. Let me hit that. Let's get rid of that banner. And it's copper shop time. Here we go, baby. Copper drop, you know what it is, folks. The segment each week we pitch to you guys a book or two books. You guys get to vote on it. And last week, the winner, by an overwhelming response, was Rodney Barnes' Monarch #1 with Alex Lins on art, and the big homie, my main man, Luis NCT on colors. This was a book that was highly anticipated for me, and I know for a lot of folks, man. Rodney Barnes doing big things. The smash hit Philadelphia. He's got like his Substack world, all the spin-offs and all that good stuff. Recently dropped Blackula. We spoke about that on last week's episodes. If you folks missed it, feel free to check it out on the channel afterwards. So you guys voted for Monarch. We read it. We're gonna share our thoughts. Keisha, Marcolin, why don't you guys kick it off and let the fine folks know, let me know, because I'm very curious to hear what you guys are thinking, because I've got thoughts on this. I've got thoughts, but I want you guys to kick it off.
You first.
I see Keisha. I was like, let it go first, because once I start, I'm gonna go. So
go ahead. You go first.
I have it, and it wasn't really a fair carpet drop for me, because I'm at this point I'm a Rodney Barnes stan. I mean, basically it's like whatever he put in front of me, I'm like fried from take my money now. That's how I am, and I do that whenever I see him on Twitter or Facebook. I'm like, take my money now. And so far, man, this is still my #1 pick. It surprised me. I mean, I like it. I like it for the representation. I like it because it seems, even though it features kids, it's adult oriented. I like it because it's sci-fi. I like it because we got to see some real life, issues that children deal with, because the main character has a boy that's bullying him, abusing him, and sometimes it's really like this, especially these kind of kids who are like, who wear glasses, who are focused on learning, who are considered good kids. People just have it out for them. I like how they just said, this boy just didn't like him from get-go. He's like, I just don't like him. I'm gonna make you pay. My life is bad. I perceive your life to be better. It's not necessarily better, and I just want to make you pay. So I like that. It's a slow burn. We still don't really know what's going on, but it's Rodney Barnes. And I remember 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 started the same way. When you really didn't know what was going on, it was a slow burn. And I'm hoping Rodney Barnes does for sci-fi what he's done for 𝐬𝐭𝐴 and Supernatural. I want to see that same kind of transfers over here. So that's my thoughts right there.
Okay. Just quickly, I wanted to. Good morning, buenos dias, raging. I'm gonna check out your chat. You got another Torontonian, I think, on your channel later on. Actual Dracula, right? Shout out. Thank you so much for coming through, my man. Keisha, what are your thoughts on Monarch #1?
I liked it a lot. Like you said, the representation was great. I know people are on the fence about seeing kids in adult like fiction or what have you, but I really enjoyed this because I just really enjoyed them. I enjoyed the friendship that they have. I enjoyed like the different point of views and how like there's that color story with that. So like in those boxes, you could tell who's saying what or what have you. I like the fact that they touched on, homelessness and how that I think is going to help at least one of the characters, like, them dealing with being in the foster system and whatnot. And the fact that it's sci-fi. I'm interested in what's going to happen. I'm trying not to give spoilers because at the end something happens where I was like, okay, what? Like what happened to his neck? I'm not going to go into anything more than that, but I was like, yo, what is this? What's going to happen? So I'm interested for #2 because of that.
You know what, Keisha, I got to go back and what did happen? Okay, yeah. Okay. That's right. So overall, you thought this was like you enjoyed the dope breed, it sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you said, I'm a Rodney Barnes fan, so like I'm gonna give him more chances.
Gotta happen.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna give him a full story arc before I say no.
Okay, hey, that's fair. So I mean, you guys know I'm a big fan of Rodney Barnes' work on this channel. One of the biggest pushers of Philadelphia, I think, man. So I was very much looking forward to this, checking out, and then the preview pages look cool, the art, and then with Luis's colors and stuff. But I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. For me, this was a mixed bag. I'll start off with the positives. On the art side features some really, I love kind of what Luis is doing here with the different tints and hues and color palettes depending on the mood. Like when the aliens come to invade and it's got like the red and the blue kind of those, like you can see there on that first page, the attack and stuff. I really, I thought that was fun. And in terms of like the pencils, some of Alex Lins' stuff was really dope. Like you can see that on that left page. I thought that was cool. And then I think there's another one here. Our buddy, what's homie's name? I want to say Trayvon.
Yeah.
Trayvon.
Yeah. I thought that was a nice nod too.
Yeah. So this is a great page. I love the page on the left, and you can see like those incoming clouds, right? Kind of gave me like the Independence Day vibe, right? Just kind of something on the horizon, right? Really setting the mood and the tone. And then but I also found, man, I'd be doing a disservice to the folks who are watching and to myself if I wasn't 100% and said a lot of it was a miss for me though. Okay, so our the main character Trayvon, right?
Mhm.
Is he supposed? I suppose he's in high school, right? He's a teenager. It looked like
Yeah.
we're in a high school setting, right? But his his art style is almost is like caricature like, right? You
He
know?
does look younger than high school. It took the story. I'll be honest about that. It took the
Yeah.
story for me to realize he was in high school.
Yeah, like he looks super young. Like you can see there on the right. I thought he was like honestly like an 8 or 9 year old. And so when I'm reading Rodney's words and this young man, it what he was saying, his thoughts, because he's narrating the story, it didn't match up. It was very jarring to see kind of these um very very mature coherent thoughts coming from what I thought it was, a young child. So that kind of took me out a little bit. I didn't think that was matching. And then in terms of the writing itself, I you know I felt that this character, I mean, you can tell it's very much Rodney Barnes, touching on the social commentary and stuff. But he's part of the foster care system, which is great. But I felt like this character's voice could have been a voice that we found in any of other of Ronnie's works. It could have been a character from Philadelphia, or maybe one of the spin. It didn't have the uniqueness. Maybe it felt very similar to his other stuff. And it's tough for me to kind of be here, to be honest, and be critical of his work, critique it like this. But like I said, I was very much looking forward to this. Some stuff worked for me, some stuff didn't. So like a mixed bag. But I can definitely see where folks are enjoying this book. But I mean, some of that art, it didn't like his bully there on the left looks like a normal teenager, right? Teenager. And then on the right panel there, then he looks like a grown ass man. Yo, he's a man of like 30 or 40. And so what happened? He aged up, in the course of like a couple panels. So, you know, um, yeah, so I'm gonna give it another shot because I do love Ronnie's work. I'm gonna give it another issue. Normally, it's I'm like a one and done. If I'm not feeling it after
It's a
one,
one and done.
oh yeah, that's it. You know
But
how I am.
but certainly, so is your problem more the art or is your problem more the writing? That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
I think initially, Marcolin, I
Mhm.
think because this character, he didn't look like someone. He looked way too young for the character. So that took me out. That was jarring. So
Okay.
I definitely would say my issue was more with
The art.
the art, and the
Yeah.
caricature style. But then I also had some issues with this voice of Trayvon not being unique enough. Like I said, I felt like it could have been just another character in one of maybe even Philadelphia, right? And I think that's just a familiar. I mean, Ronnie writes what he's good at, right? Like the social commentary and stuff. But I kind of wanted to see something a little bit different, being a sci-fi genre. Um, yeah. I mean, those are my thoughts. I know you probably like this. Why did I come on? Yo,
No. I mean, I
No.
like to hear that.
yeah.
I like to hear that because I'm thinking this is Rodney Barnes' take on the Invaders from Mars or War of the Worlds. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what
Yeah.
I was getting to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go back and look at it because I'm like, well, are they in high school? I guess they are. I mean, but I also get the vibe that Trayvon is still younger than Zion. Maybe he's one of those advanced kind of precocious kids, like, and you got to realize, I've been watching a lot of old Family Matters too. Remember when Jaleel White first popped up on Family Matters? He was like, they were all the same age, but he was smaller than Eddie and Laura, but they were all the same age in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this man, he's dropping the Family Matters references on the House of Nerd. I love it. I love
Hey,
it.
man,
Jaleel White.
that's the black nerd that everybody identifies with Jaleel White. Jaleel
Okay.
White said they put a bullet in his head for ever play that character again, which I understand why.
Yeah. That's why they brought out Stefan.
Yeah, I mean, to keep him happy, like he was like, man, y'all studying my growth as a man. Let me do something else.
Yeah. You know what I will say? One thing I did like is the different characters within the story. They did have unique voices, right? So that was pretty cool. I mean, listen, Ronnie does his thing, right? But yeah, a mixed bag for me. So Cobra Drop, you know, is are you guys voting to cop this issue or to drop this one?
Well, you know I'm a vote to cop. I don't even know why you ask
Yeah.
me.
Hey,
You know why you ask me. You know,
I'm gonna vote the cop too.
that's fair. That's fair. You know what, man? It's a
But
tough
like
one.
Keisha said, at least give it a story arc.
Yeah, give it the story arc. I
some,
think
you
Rodney
know,
Barnes deserves that.
Yeah, I mean, Rodney's gonna write with at least a 6-issue story arc. We thinking, you know.
I feel bad. Rodney Barnes from the show. He's been on the show, I think, like 2 or 3 times. So I'm like, and I'm here like, but I just, you know what? I'll say this. I do want to pick up issue 2 because I want to see where it goes. And you know, I know the strength of his stuff. It's right there for me though, but I'm gonna say cop. But with like, you know, a bit of an aesthetic, if you will. So but you know, I think if for fans of for sci-fi, I think he's doing some cool, some fun with the genre. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hey, good morning, Horror Geek Mel in the house.
Hey.
Nerds, plurals, yes. Full house today. And in just a few minutes, in just a few moments, we got another nerd joining us. Hound will be here in just a second. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that's cool. You know, like I said, I was very curious to hear your guys' thoughts on the book, man. But I'm glad you guys are digging it. You know, like some of the pages there. I mean, they are dope. I like that.
Yeah.
Face shot there. You know.
It was a great opening.
The
Like
cold
the fuck-
open, yeah, you
yeah.
kind of see like is boom. You know, we're in the midst of this invasion, and you know, so. But yeah, you know, I'll keep reading it. I'll keep reading
And
it.
I was surprised that the kids were getting in this book because, you know, like I said, he wrote the book we talked about last with Quentin Excellence or whatever it is from Lions Force. That's very much a youth oriented book.
Yeah.
I thought this was gonna be similar. I said, wait a minute, these kids are cussing. Oh, these kids are getting got. I said, oh, this is an adult oriented story.
Yeah, yeah, but exactly, it is mature. So I think made it even more jarring for me. Like the art didn't match it in a sense, or at least.
But like
Oh.
kids curse. We gonna gonna like be honest about that. Kids curse, especially in high school. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I gotta go back and yeah, I had a trucker's block back in the day.
I mean, but what I think about now is the Stranger Things kids. There's like the kids that always put in the Stranger Things kids are the new Scooby gang. Cause they all, I'm sorry, the Scooby gang, well, they the new Buffy gang. The kids who were always in danger, but somehow the Stranger Things kids have avoided like taking a really significant loss. You know, somehow, maybe not this final season. We'll see.
We'll see, my man. Yeah. And we got Horror Geek Mel saying, "I'm waiting for my Rodney Barnes side Kolchak to get to." Hey, that's dope. I didn't know he was doing that.
I didn't know he was doing Kolchak either.
What? Yeah. When was this?
I mean, but Rodney Barnes, I mean, he did a lot. He did James Bond. He did
man,
Army of the Living.
He's doing everything.
Rodney Barnes everywhere. So
everywhere.
Hey. And what makes it all the more impressive, like he's got his hands in so many different things. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, it's crazy. Executive producing, like, you know, HBO shows, and Rodney Barnes is still the man. Second Street Marvel, what's going on? What's he saying here? I swear I was subscribed. I had to wait to say this. I didn't read. Monarch, might check it out. Hey, it's cool. Glad you're subscribed now. Thanks for coming through and hanging out with us here on the House of Nerd Show. When you do check it out, very curious to hear your thoughts, bud. You know, very because I know you dig like the indie stuff. You know, Aftershock, those guys like that. So yeah, I had mixed thoughts on it. But Marklin and Keisha, they're digging it, and we're all at the end of the day we all gave it the thumbs up. Cop. So folks, the second half of Cobra Drop, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save the poll because we are fortunate enough to have Hound, the writer of the upcoming Scout comics released, and we love you. Let's bring her on in. Here we go. Fel, what's going on?
Hi.
good morning,
Hey.
everyone. Nice to
Good
meet
morning.
you, Keisha and Mark.
Morning.
Is
Nice
it-
to meet you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think the last time we had you on the show was for our back to school special. if
Yeah,
I'm
it was
not
like last
mistaken.
August or
Mhm.
something.
I want to say like late August, early September. And that was a whole lot of fun. You know, what would you talk? We got into our favorite movies, favorite comics, favorite films, and it's always cool to kind of get into the mind of like the creators and see what your guys' favorite stuff is, right? You know. So thank you so much again for coming through, Fel. We're here. We're talking about your upcoming Scout Comics release, and we love you, which is a prequel to Commander Rao, correct?
Yes, it's a standalone prequel, so you don't actually have to have read Commander Rao to enjoy this one shot.
Oh, that's great. Good to know. I mean, I read Commander Scout. Commander Rao.
And around. I was like, wait a
What
minute.
what did I say? Commander Scout.
You said
Oh,
It's all
Commander
merging
Scout.
into one.
I'm creating new characters for Fel's universe here, folks. I'm trying to. If you could please, for the folks who might not be familiar with this wonderful universe that you've created, why don't you let the fine folks at home know what the story is all about?
Yeah, so Commander Rao is a sci-fi action comic that deals with a futuristic dystopian war, and We Love You is a standalone prequel to that. So We Love You is a dystopian sci-fi war comic about a girl who bleeds memories. So unfortunately, she perishes in this war. She begins to bleed out all her memories, and we see her entire life story play out in front of everyone amidst this backdrop of like this kind of awful war themes. But we see the good parts of her life too. We see her life story, we see the loves of her life, we see all the good moments, and we see all the sad moments. So it's really a very all-encompassing story of this girl's life in this terrible war.
I heard the word emotions in there somewhere, sad moments. I think it's fair to say that a Fellhound book is a book that's gonna get you all up in your feels, in your emotions, and for me certainly, it did that. Man, I mean, I said it really. I mean, salty discharge on a Wednesday night is not what I was trying to do, but
Okay.
yeah, like emotional stuff here. Is that fair to say? Your books, your writing, is that what you're kind of you're going for?
Yeah, I mean, I guess even judging by these covers, it's definitely not a comedy. It is quite tragic. Definitely meant to pull on people's emotions. I mean, I think any story that deals with something as awful as war really is, about the tragedy of it all, really. So yeah, it's sad, but we can all cry together after we read it.
You guys ready to cry, Keisha, Marklin? I mean,
when I read it, like that's all I felt. It was just, I was like, damn. Like the whole time. Because like in the artwork, you can tell like, oh, it was just a lot. It was a lot of feelings.
for sure, absolutely.
Sorry for the feels, but thank you.
I mean, the feel show you did a good job, though. That's what. That shows you did a good job.
I think that's a sign. That's a sign of good writing. Speaking of, I failed to mention, Ringo nominated. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool for sure. You want to let the folks know a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I guess the predecessor to And We Love You, Commander Rao, was nominated for a Ringo Award last year for Best One Shot. It really is thanks to all the fans who voted for the comic. Still unbelievable that Commander Rao was nominated. Commander Rao is actually like my first published comic, so it's like I was over the moon. I was super grateful for everyone, and like it just means so much to get that nomination. Like I was so stoked. We lost ultimately to Something Is Killing the Children, but it's just an honor to be nominated. Yeah. And Something Is Killing the Children is an amazing book, so honestly, I'm not I'm not bitter or anything.
I mean, yeah, you can't be you lost to a little book called Something is Killing the Children. Not too
It's not a
shabby.
little
It's a tiny
anymore.
Little,
It's
book.
spitting out
little,
books left
right?
and right now. So
No, that's so cool. So, congratulations on the nomination. I'm sure you're gonna get another one this year for And We Love You. Do we have any news on the release date? I think you had mentioned we're looking at late February, early March.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
last I spoke to Scout, unfortunately, there's been a delay at the printers. If you don't know, unfortunately, Scout's printer was a little bit destroyed by the hurricane last year.
oh no.
So they're still trying to
No.
get things back to, normal operations. But last I heard, it was at binding last week. So it should take about maybe like 3 weeks to ship to Diamond and release to stores. So they're saying best estimate probably March 1st,
Oh,
but
okay.
we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
coming soon.
So a couple weeks time, not too far off.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, I heard about their printer getting like destroyed in the hurricane. That's wild, man.
Yeah,
Um,
that's very
but we,
sad.
we got some folks who are digging the cover here. Second Street
Yeah.
Marvel saying, I'm waiting to get my Skylar Patches cover. What a great cover,
Oh, it's so good.
man! Fantastic, fantastic stuff. And then of course, Val, you are the writer, the artist
Hmm.
on this one here. Before we get to the interiors, this is another
Yes.
variant cover. Who's this one?
Mm.
So this is the web store cover that I drew.
Oh, okay.
The
Oh,
main
snap.
cover was by by Angela Wu, who's a fantastic artist. She's like up and coming,
Mhm.
fantastic artist. And then the cover B, which is the 1 in 10 unlock, is by the amazing Skylar Patridge, whose art I absolutely adore.
So the 1 in 10 on the right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's the Skylar cover, and
Yeah,
then we got
yeah.
the Angela one on the left.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
And
That's yeah.
so here we got some of your interior pages. You said it's set like in this future kind of dystopian fantasy world in the midst of this really bloody war. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But
And,
with all the gray, it's not a happy comic.
no, you can see here. Yeah, I mean, you're setting the tone right off the bat there. Dark, ominous. War is not fun.
Yeah.
War is not fun, folks. Right? What was the inspiration behind these characters and this world kind of that you've created?
Yeah, so originally I was actually inspired by not so much sci-fi stuff, but I was really into this manga called The Rose of Versailles, which is like a French Revolution manga. And I was like in love with the aesthetic for it. The aesthetics inspired a lot of, I guess, the aesthetics for Commander Rao, except I decided to make it sci-fi so that it's still different from the manga. Like it's not exactly historical, but it borrowed a lot of themes of like oppression and uprising and I guess like not exactly war, but conflict. And I wanted to apply that into a sci-fi setting with this one. So it's really all those themes applied into the sci-fi setting. Also, I really love drawing like robots and armors and big weapons. So I think that's what kind of meshed the two together into the world we have now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the story features some pretty cool what would you call them, like mech kind of
Yeah.
Robotech. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Mechas.
Yeah, for sure. Some really cool stuff, man. Favorite. So I'm gonna ask you. This is a mix of like sci-fi, fantasy. Favorite sci-fi flick, favorite fantasy flick, or maybe even like book content.
Oh, well, I was for the longest time a massive Gundam fan. I'm still a massive Gundam fan. They have that new show, Witch from Mercury, which is like Revolutionary Girl Utena mixed with Gundam. And it's like my favorite thing ever. It's giant robots, and it's war in a way, and it's so good. So that's probably the first one that comes to mind right now. I love Gundam.
Okay. So for those who are not too familiar with the Gundam world, myself, is that like is it like an anime world, or is that like a comic book series? I'm not too familiar.
Yeah, so it's an anime. I guess it's really popular in Japan. Like they have all the model kits and stuff. Pretty much it's about giant robots, people piloting giant robots. Think like Pacific Rim, but like
Yes.
Pacific Rim, but like instead of fighting kaiju, they fight each other, and it's a lot of themes about war and oppression as well, but like between space and
Okay.
Earth.
Yeah. I do see people. They're posting the neat little figures, right? Actually,
Yeah,
I think I've seen you like the build the figures. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So Gundam. All right, man. Mark and Keisha, you guys mess with the Gundam stuff, or?
Like I told you, I mean, I got that cursory Robotech. That was not my first exposure to mech, and really, as a kid, I shouldn't have been watching Robotech because you were like, "Oh, this is fun." Then people start getting killed and have to go to therapy and stuff. Like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So
Oh,
that
man.
kind of turned me off, but I'm familiar with it.
Oh, nah, I don't know anything about that. I think the closest I started like watching anime and all of that stuff with My Hero Academia. And that's where it started and ended.
I'm a My Hero Academia fan, but I guess my first anime because I mean I saw stuff like Fist of the North Star because my friends were older, so they would have this stuff. Like, oh, I need to watch this, but I didn't really get it. But probably the first anime I got hooked on was probably Dragon Ball Z, and that's because they were fighting all the time. And once I figured out they're gonna talk smack for about 5 episodes and the fight's gonna go for 10, I was in.
Classic. Yes.
I need to brush up. I've got like zero experience with like anime and manga and all that
I
stuff.
mean, it was One Punch Man, like Keisha said. My Hero Academia is probably my favorite. I just realized they up to season 6 now. Hulu. Like, oh snap! So
One Punch Man is amazing.
I keep hearing who was that? I think my kid was actually telling me about that the other day. I said he's trying to put me onto stuff, man. Shout out Mama Comics, Lucy. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here with Hound, Ringo nominated creator of the upcoming And We Love You. Yes, looking forward to getting a physical copy. I got, you know what? That reminds me. I managed to pick up. Let me put this. I managed to pick up a couple bookmarks at my
Oh,
local
those are nice.
LCS.
I'll
Cyber
always be
City
having that
Comics.
stuff.
Shout out to Cyber City comic community, Daryl and all the good folks there. Are you gonna be not to put you on the spot or anything, because you had a whole bunch of the Commander Rao, the signed books there for the folks. Can we expect anything when And We Love You drops?
I mean, I do plan on dropping by Cyber City and signing some books once they
Okay.
have it.
Oh, okay.
I might have some more merch to drop.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm always happy to support the local Torontonians and Cyber City, best comic book shop.
Absolutely, and I didn't mention when you came on, but yes, Fel is a fellow Torontonian, which
I
is
love that Torontonians. I had never heard
Yeah.
this term. Y'all in Toronto. I'll come
oh,
kicking up with there with y'all from Cinnabon or something one day.
it's a silent T at the end there. It's a Toronto.
Toronto.
Fel, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, no one really says the T. We all say
No.
Toronto or something.
Yeah.
Like Trono.
Toronto.
Fellow in the house, TM Nerdy. Thank you so much for coming through and joining us. We are here with Felhound. No, that's cool. I mean, I think for folks who are into to sci-fi, and kind of these dystopian stories, and it really sincerely the book packs an emotional punch, and I what you're doing here. So early on, I don't think it's spoilerish to say. I mean, I think you mentioned it. Our main character, she's how would you put it? I mean, you can see there.
She perishes. That's
She
what I
perishes,
said.
yeah.
It is in the synopsis.
You see it
so
right
it's
here.
not a spoiler.
Okay, there you go. It's in the synopsis. A bullet to the head. War, tragedy, and the beautiful thing is how you paint these memories as she's kind of dying, like they're kind of bleeding out, but just the whole vibe and aesthetic. I really kind of I mean, it's nice to take in. You know, where did this kind of idea come from? To you know, as our character, as the character is kind of just, she's there, you know, on the battlefield, and it's almost like the uh life. What was the saying go? Life flashes before
You
when you're
look
dying.
before your eyes, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of vibe concept. Was this something you always kind of had in mind to do with these characters, or
Yeah, I think it's so I think personally my inspiration from this comic was I guess the idea that there's so much awful news going on that I think sometimes people get desensitized to all the news, and it just becomes like, people passing away becomes like a statistic and not really something to be grieving or mourned. And I think I wanted this comic to show that, it's not just a statistic. Like, these people are people who had like entire beautiful colorful lives that were just taken from them, especially in like a war context. So this story only tells a story of one life, but it could universally apply to really any tragedy.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think that's, yeah, for sure, one of the beautiful things is you're bringing kind of on a grounded, on a human level, right? Like really zeroing in on these people, these relationships, and and because it's true, we're so desensitized, right, to the news. And like, it's like
Yeah.
now, with what's going on in Ukraine, it really it trips me out. It's like we're seeing video clips. It's like watching a video game, like the drone footage, and then just, it's so casual now. We're literally, we're watching people getting like blown up and everything. And sometimes it was recently, very recently, I saw one of those videos, and it really, it hit me as like, I said, damn, like, how it's readily available, and like really take in what we're watching, completely desensitized. So I
Yeah.
think a story like this is important to kind of humanize everything. Um, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. It's like video games out there, um, for sure. Love what you're doing here, though. Not to get too sad and too serious,
No,
man.
he just
Yeah.
certainly
Man,
brought the mood down.
um,
Feels like, hey, I'm trying to promote my product. It's sad, but it's good. It's entertaining. It makes you think.
man. But it's true. I mean, and we got Chill here saying, with the school shootings too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like every other day,
Mhm.
we're hearing,
It's always something. Yeah.
yeah,
But that's the benefit of, the downside of the 24-hour news cycle. Because I mean, the thing is, this has always happened, which is where now we're able to see it as it happens real time, which is good, because now we're like, oh, well, this was wrong, and you need to hold somebody accountable for it. Because think about, before it was on 24-hour news, people were doing all kinds of stuff, just getting away with it for years.
hmm
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I need a good dose of, like, give me some kind of good vibe content that I can inject into my veins. Oh man, it's like, that's why, like, like the dog TikTok and the kitty TikTok. I mean,
You watch
among
Dog Kitty Kit,
or baby
you don't
TikTok.
make me do it, sir. I
Yes.
don't watch Dog Kitty TikTok, but I do like go to Instagram and look at baby stuff. That makes me feel good.
Oh, that's cute.
Mm. Now, dog grooming. I don't know why, but watching dogs get groomed is just
Yeah,
like the best feeling.
So cute.
It is.
well, are you a dog or a cat person?
Dog.
I am more
Oh,
of a
sorry.
cat person. Oh, sorry. Dogs are cute. I like puppies. I think
Okay.
once the puppies get a little older, like, I've met some really hyper dogs that really like to pounce on people, and I'm not about that pouncing life, but they're very cute. I'll give them that. Dogs are cute.
Same wavelength there, Fal. I love dogs, but I'm not a fan of those hyperactive, super, you know, the yep, and it's like just chill, homie. You know, be cool. You
That's
know,
like
I think
every
energy
dog.
for it.
If the dog likes you, it's gonna want to play with you.
Mhm.
That means y'all cat people, because cats don't care. They're like, if you hear or not, I don't really care. You know?
It's true. They don't care.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're like, see, and they're the other end of the spectrum. They're like too cool. It's like, show me some love, man. Come on now, you know.
They show you some love when they want to eat. That's it. They'll come and rubble you in like, oh, I want to eat. I want to play with something.
Mhm.
We got Magpie Musing. I like the animal friend videos, like a pup, and those are great.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Y'all gonna make me find these videos so I can like look at them.
Folks in the live chats, just please recommend all the good content stuff. We need it, man. We need it. I think Margaret, you mentioned the baby IG videos.
Man,
I watched
I love that.
one, my friend, and then my whole timeline was, which I'm not too mad at, because they're pretty darn cute. Pretty darn cute. Oh man, sorry, buddy, I cut you off there. What were you about to say?
No. I was saying, I mean, I agree with you. The baby videos, they made me feel good. I was like, hey, look at the cute little baby. You know,
It's good content. It's
because
good
babies
content.
are in it. They just get happy about everything. You know.
Yes.
So back to the book at hand. Phil, can you a little bit more about these characters that we're dealing with, and the great relationships, all that kind of the dynamics in the book there?
Yeah, so our main character is, her name is Julie. She is a young soldier who is recruited to fight in this awful, awful war. But, you know, it's not all that bad, because when she goes into the military, she does meet another soldier whose name is Casey. If you've read Commander Rao, then you know who Casey is, but Casey is a very important person to Julie's life. You know, they grow an incredible bond. It's not very explicit, but they are, you know, they're definitely more than just friends. Yeah, and by the end of it, I think that's what creates part of that tragedy, because they weren't able to talk about those feelings outright before all the bad stuff happened. And I think that left a lot of open ends and a lot of open wounds that kind of festered until we got to Commander Rao. And for those who don't know, the Casey is Commander Rao. So if you've read Commander Rao, this is kind of the backstory of how, you know, all this happened that spurned her kind of murderous journey in Commander Rao.
Yeah. So a great standalone prequel. The story stands on its own, but also if you've read Rao, you know, it's like you're getting this dope backstory, right? And folks, if you haven't checked out Commander Rao, you know, it's been out for a minute. Definitely recommend if you guys enjoyed, or I guess, no, I was gonna say if you enjoyed and we love you. It's not out yet, but you guys will see in a couple weeks time. I gotta ask if you had to fan cast, maybe for your main characters, anybody in mind, or you'd be like, oh, they'd be pretty cool to play, you know, Julie or Rao.
Oh, I've thought about this, but I actually don't know that many celebrities, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, personally, as like a queer woman, I really like Kristen Stewart. I don't know if it's exactly for her acting skills, but if she played any character in one of my stories, I would very much appreciate that. She can pick whatever character she wants.
Okay.
But I don't think I know anyone well enough to say I'd fan cast them. I would go through that casting process and find someone.
I like that though. She like.
Ooh, he froze.
Oh no.
I don't know.
That's a pretty decent freeze in the middle of it.
I know. He's like moving his hands and stuff like that.
I'm just so excited.
Yeah. But Phil, I was thinking about Emily Blunt for this as being your main character, because when I was looking at it, the first thing it made me think about that movie she was in with Tom Cruise at the
Edge of Tomorrow. I think.
Yes, that's what I thought about when I was reading this. I'm like, this. That's what my mind went when I was going through it. I was like, okay.
I do love Emily Blunt, and I love her in that movie, so that is a great choice.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Emily Blunt, Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah.
Nah, I'm with you with Kirsten Stewart. She could just be there.
Yeah.
We talking about Kristen Stewart from what's the name of that the Twilight stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
She's
like
her
evolved from that.
today.
Yeah.
No, I
her
don't like-
today.
I ain't gonna say I don't
It's been
like
10 years.
it, but this is really hard for me to go through those movies.
Oh yeah.
You know, you watch those movies for like when you're like really high and you just don't want to focus on anything. You put them on in the background. You don't actually watch them.
That's
I completely agree because I'm like, whoa, what is this? And I think what was it, Grown Ups or something like that? Something with Paul Rudd and I think and they were like, I went to them. She was like, I went to see Twilight by myself and it was really bad.
Oh, Knocked Up, I think.
Knocked Up, that's what it was.
Yes.
It was really bad. I was like, I know the feeling because I had to go on a date and that's what my date wanted to go see. I was like,
Oh.
at least it was the last one though. It was the last one because I had avoided all of them until the end.
I
That
actually think
last
the
one
last
made me
ones were
very angry.
Yeah. I feel like they got worse. Like the first one was kind of okay, but then they just got worse and worse.
So it's like the Fast and the Furious movies. I'm honest, they got worse, but they got more ridiculous. I saw the trailer for Fast X, which I'm gonna go see. I was like, this
Yeah.
movie is ridiculous though. It didn't make any sense.
But they put everybody in that movie, so hope, maybe.
Well, everybody but The Rock.
Isn't there a new one coming out? I saw an ad on YouTube for like
Yeah.
Fast
Yeah.
10 or
Fast
something.
X.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was it called Beginning of the Final Road or something that beginning of the end of the road? What?
So is it the last one or is it the beginning of the end?
My understanding from watching the trailer is the beginning of the last one. So I think it's part 10, but it's going to be 2 parts. So they get to do 11 movies.
I see.
Because I watched that trailer, I was like, first of all, I like Jason Momoa, but how y'all go? They tie back to the 5th movie, which probably was the best one when they were in Brazil. You know? And he's trying to say that Jason Momoa is the son, he's somebody related to the villain from the 5th movie who got knocked over on the bridge but survived. And he's coming all these years later to hunt them down. And she's like, yeah, that's
Killmonger said the Fast won't end. The kids will continue the franchise. No.
Yes, that's exactly
we need to
happened.
put this to bed.
I've not seen any of them, but maybe I should start.
So watch the first one.
Yeah.
Watch the second one, the third one. Because that basically introduces all the characters you need to know. And then by the 4th one, people come back, and the 5th one is probably the best one.
Okay.
Oh, Sergio must be on the
I don't know
cell
if
phone
you guys
now.
can hear me or not.
We
can, yeah.
My internet's down. I can't hear the audio though. Hold on. Let's try this. I got no audio over here.
We hear you though.
I'm gonna try coming out and coming back in. Bear with me. Live television, folks. You gotta love it. Okay, I'll be back in just a sec. Let's see if I can figure this out.
Well, he's there.
we got part of it.
I want to know who the internet provider is up there in Toronto. Because when down here we have
probably
Verizon.
Rogers. They go out like we had like a massive like nationwide outage, and Rogers is like our number one like internet service provider. They went out for like almost 12 hours last year, and it like broke the country. Like everything was down, debit, credit, everything.
That's
was down.
amazing, and they're still in
wow.
business.
They are still in business. They're still number one. I think the CEO got fired, but. Yeah.
I wanted to have a golden parachute, so we gotta fire you, but you know
they
leave with
did.
$5 million though. Still,
they did. They had the best contracts to hire you go up.
Yeah.
Because there's so much can go wrong. You have a day where the internet doesn't work for a day.
I know. I had to go to the mall to use their Wi-Fi because the mall used like a different service provider instead of Rogers. Like I think they used Bell. So literally everybody was just sitting around the mall or Starbucks trying to get Wi-Fi.
Man, still no audio on mine. I'm trying to connect on my phone. The internet is down at my place. This is the first time I've done this. I really don't know what is going on. I apologize. I see. Yes, Rogers or Bell. man.
Oh, Magpie is
Keisha, if you guys
asking.
can give me a thumbs up. Can you guys hold it down for a minute while I try to figure this out?
Yeah, we'll just
All
have
right, I trust you guys.
random
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
So
see
Magpie.
I'll be back, folks. Oh my god.
All right. So Magpie asks Phil, any favorite comics you enjoy reading?
Oh, yes. I've been reading. My pool is actually right beside me. What am I reading right now?
I knew you were gonna do that because everybody does that when they come on this show. I have my poll list right beside me.
Yeah.
Right here.
All right.
Well,
I really like Chroma right now from Image and Skybound. Chroma. It's a beautiful comic. I was reading The Least We Can Do from Image Comics by Lisa Ramboli and Yolanda Zanfordino. They also have a Kickstarter right now for a thing called Truth, which was like a volume 2 for their previous volume 1, which was published by Image. I love everything they put out. What else am I reading? Oh, the Gargoyles comics. I love that show, and now the comics are back, and I'm so happy. I love that series. What else is on my pool? I'm reading Briar from Boom, which is really cool. Tommy from Image, and 20th Century Men, also from Image, a lot of Image comics. But my friend Cinnamon did the art for that, and his art is fantastic. It's a beautiful comic. And yeah, I think that's what I'm reading right now. What about you guys?
Wait a minute, I'm like, you read a lot of Image.
Yeah.
I think you need to get your next book published by Image.
I wish.
Yeah, we ain't
Image is
knocking
a dope.
comics, but I'm like, I hear a lot of Image.
I love Image.
All right. Well, Keisha, what are you reading? Because, I got a whole bunch of stuff to entertain y'all, but hear what y'all reading.
All right, what am I reading? Now look at the library. All right, so I just finished Image, Prince of Cats, Ron Wimberly.
Okay.
It's like a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. It's set in like New York City in the 80s. And it's told from like the perspective of side characters like Tybalt. I absolutely love that comic. Like, absolutely loved it. In terms of my polls, I got lists.
What
So
you got? Come with it. Come with it.
So I pulled Mosley. I love Rob Gill. I love Chew specifically. And Farmhand, I just finished volume 1 a few days ago. So I'm just reading all of his stuff now. This one was okay. I'm gonna say it wasn't my favorite. I have some.
We gonna slow you there right there. Because I'm like, all right, I'm happy you got Mosley because I think Mosley slipped by a lot of people. So I'm happy you got it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a Chew primary fan and then Farmhand, or I put Farmhand over Chew, but I hadn't finished all of Chew though.
I've read more of Chew, so that's all I'm gonna say why I like that. But I do like both. I really enjoyed both. But yeah, Mosley, I liked it. I'm gonna still give it another. I know that the next issue comes out this Wednesday. I'm gonna get that. I think it was just seeing his anger, like the main character's anger. I wanted to know like what happened because they skipped that whole part and then went into like present times. Right. So I want to know what happened when he started teaching this robot, like what happened during that. So because of that one question, I'm going to get it. But like Sergio is on the fence with Monarch, I'm on the fence with Mosley.
Yeah, I can't be going on the fence, but y'all do what y'all want. But I'm fully in on Mosley. I thought it was different for Rob Guillory because I'm sure I think he's just writing. He's not drawing this one. Even he was the artist on Chew. I think he still kind of helped John Layton script Chew. And I know Farmhand is all him, both writing and art. So I'm like, all right, so he let somebody else do the art. And I like the whole same with this Monarch thing. Like, oh, you got somebody who's doing some more science fiction type stuff, but we don't know what it's going to end like. And I see Sergio, you back? Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear the audio's back.
Yay.
But the internet is down at my place. I don't know if it's like in just my place or like it's a neighborhood, but it's like I can't connect it all. So I'm on my phone. Apologies. and I'm trying to figure out the whole layout for StreamYard on the phone. Oh man, this is wild. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I don't know what I missed, but it sounds like you guys are talking. Looks like we had a question about Fel. Fel has some Kickstarter recommendations. Is that right?
Yeah, we're just talking about, I guess, comics that we were reading.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, Belle was telling us that all her pull is basically image, but she don't want to.
You read a lot of images.
And then Keisha was telling me why she was on the fence for Mosley. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. So I guess Keisha, I'm sorry, I had to stop you on that Mosley thing. I don't want people to talk about Mosley. So
no, I got you. How about this? When it comes out on Wednesday,
right?
We'll talk.
All right, what else you got?
What else do I got? All right, so I have Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I'm only picking this. Yep. I'm picking this up because I love the initial run, but this is written by Jordan Afueko, who wrote like Raybearer and the Redemptor. So I'm very excited about this and like how this villain is cute. I think like overall the whole comic is cute. Like the villain is a social media influencer and she's trying to get girls to like be on the creamy crack and get a perm and shit. Like
that is a cultural reference because I know what you mean. The creamy crack.
Like I'm enjoying it. It's making the kid in me happy. Reading Moon Girl, it's so cute.
Yeah, I got that Moon Girl too, and I enjoy it. But also, the Moon Girl show comes out. I heard it came on Disney, but it's coming.
It came out on Disney Plus, February 15th. You don't know how angry I was to look on Disney Plus Friday night.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I mean, where's it at? You know, so they're making us wait. All right, so what else you got?
Oh, and just hold that thought. We're gonna let's get into the week in review. But before we get that, Fel, I just wanted to thank you for coming on the show. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties. I'm tripping out here. I'm like, look, I'm trying to like.
It's okay.
It's wild.
Phil already said it was Roger's fault. She said Phil said Rogers is screwing all over him.
Found those Rogers bells. Oh man, Monopoly they got here. But thank you so much again, folks. Please keep your eyes out for And We Love You. It's dropping. Looks like March 1st is the date that they're gunning for. Fingers crossed. Definitely recommend sci-fi dystopian. You know, an emotional. It's gonna wreck you, folks. It's great stuff. Lovely art. You saw the preview pages there. Fel, and you know you're welcome back here at the House of Nerd anytime.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It was great chatting and meeting all of you. Yeah, you guys have a great day.
Absolutely. Take it easy, Fel. Have a great one. Enjoy the Sunday.
Thank you. Take care.
Goodbye now. All right. And I don't know how to okay, there we go. Boom.
Phil had to take themselves out.
Yeah, they gotta take them. I don't have all the features here for StreamYard on the phone. I'm like, this is wild. We're gonna like, this is like bootleg House of Nerd, folks. Michaelin and Keisha are gonna hold down the fort. Actually, if you want, I mean, I can give you the login, Marklin, if you want to log in and have like the access to the controls and stuff. I mean,
man, I don't think I get to it because I'm actually on my tablet right now.
Same.
So we were doing we were talking about some books we can review. Yeah. Let me hit that our little intro vid that time, folks. Yes, sir. Week in review. You know what it is, where we talk about our favorite book that we're reading, new pickups, old joints, all that good stuff. That's what I feel like right now. I feel like I'm in the shed of nerds. Yo,
shed of nerd. House of nerd, shed of nerd.
Closet of nerd. My God, I'm telling you, man. I don't even know how to like change the like full screen the camera. I don't know if that's possible from the phone, man. Like, this is wild. This is wild, man. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so we can review. we're talking our favorite titles. I had a couple titles that I wanted to talk about, but before we get into that, um, what have you guys been reading this week? That anything that you guys wanted to talk about in particular, put the spotlight on?
Keisha, you can keep going.
Now, I was talking about Mosley and Moon Girl. I pick up, I'm gonna be honest, I pick up mostly Black comics. So
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right. So this was last week or the week before. Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. I enjoyed this. I think my husband enjoyed it more. But I like it. I like the relationships that are showing up in this one. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I've added that to my sub list. I've gotten to, okay, so I stay away from X-Men and Star Wars specifically.
Oh, Lord. Two of the biggest fandoms.
And there's a reason, because the person I married is just like one of them, like, you know, those fans where if you say the wrong thing, you get looked at. Yeah. You know, you get that judging look. So I figured if I don't know anything, you can't get mad. I can't mistake, like, you can't get mad at me. So this is my first foray into actually reading. Like, so it's Bishop War College.
Okay, and I missed that. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I haven't read them yet, so I'm reading them this weekend.
Okay.
And then Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants. There's something about this Sins of Sinister, like this whole run, I think I'm gonna start looking for, because it looks interesting.
It is, and you're early enough in Sins of Sinister. They said that Sins of Sinister #1 that came out maybe a week or two ago, and this is the first kind of mini that's coming out. But I mean, Al Ewing's writing it, and it features Storm. And if you like Storm, I would say go back, reread Shield by Al Ewing and X-Men Red by Al Ewing. They both lead into, you know, the whole story of Storm, where she's at and what's going on with her. Yeah.
Got you.
I'm not laughing. I'm laughing. This is crazy. Wow, this is ridiculous.
Oh, you full screen now.
Yeah. I think Manny told him to turn his phone to the side. That's what he did.
Thanks to Manny. Manny got me to figure. He's like, he just turned the phone the other way, man. But listen, so Storm is in a new book with the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
that. Yeah.
Whoa.
It came out this Wednesday.
Yeah, you need to read it.
Yeah, it's #1.
Yeah, #1. Sins of Sinister is like you remember that Age of Apocalypse kind of thing from like the 90s, where basically all the X-Men books stopped publishing regularly and they like came back with an alternate world where Apocalypse won. It's the same concept, but this time it's sinister, and how he did it was very sinister as well. But Storm has some of the best things, and read that Sins of Sinister 1. I was like on
this question is wild.
Yeah.
What's going on? So
no, come on, chill.
That question is wild.
Is that
but hear me out. Okay, I love John Jennings and almost everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something about Ghostlight Silver Surfer. I couldn't place the setting for that comic. You know how you were saying in Monarch, like the art threw you off? There was something about the way these two kids was talking to each other. And I was like, this sounds like a dad who heard their kids talk and is like trying to relate with the lingo. And it's like, yeah, I'm hip. Like, that's how it felt. So that threw me for a good portion of Ghostlight. But because it's John Jennings, I'm going to give him the whole story arc.
Right.
Because I like almost everything else. But yeah, that one, you know, I'm not going to talk too much. It's February. So.
And we got another issue coming out, right? Because that was issue 1 that came. Did issue 1 come out last week?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So the next issue should actually be some. From the covers I've seen, look like it's going to be a fight. From the covers I've seen. Now, what actually happens, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
We got Phil North saying I saw a great review for Bishop. Bishop is another one that I need to check.
Yeah.
Like, man, so we got Storm, we got Bishop.
Yeah.
Wild. Wow, we're living now, man. And I've said this before. You guys can check the receipts. After Wolverine, Bishop is my favorite X-Men. Always been a Bishop fan, so that's pretty cool.
Wait a minute, Serge. I don't think I've ever heard you say that, which is good because I think
check,
Bishop's a character.
check the timeline. Check the timeline, man.
But and I remember when they made Bishop crazy. Get your ex-concierge on. I remember when they made Bishop like the bad guy, like he basically went crazy and was like chasing Hope Summers and Cable throughout history. I hated that time period of Bishop. I was like, what? I hated it. And they redeemed them, but it's like that happens with comic book characters. that happens. Like they're like, oh, we got a new take for a character, and it's like it's not well received by fans. I think some major black characters are going through that right now. I don't want to start the argument in the chat, but I know it's one book everybody seems to hate every month. I'm like, oh, it's the point I don't even want to read the book because I see on Twitter people like already dogging the book out like a week ahead of time. This is what's going to happen next weekend. This is destructive. I'm like, come on, let me at least read it first.
Yeah. So those are some great titles, Keisha. Thanks for sharing those. Marklin, anything off the top? Like what's
off the top?
Like,
I told you Monarch was my number one, so I'm gonna keep that in number one spot. Number two, I'm gonna give it to surprisingly DC Comics Batman, new Chip Zdarsky, 132. Give that out. So that's Cat because you know. For one, I give Zdarsky credit because he acknowledges how ridiculous Batman Falling from the Moon was in this book. Like Batman's falling in this book, he's like, I fell from the moon. I should be able to survive this. I'm like, you falling from the moon made no sense. If we're talking about taking yourself out of a book, that took me out. And number 3, I think will be Daredevil, number 8. When Daredevil was fighting Punisher, and Punisher leads the hand, Daredevil leads the fist. I mean, the art on this, Chicheko's doing art. It's beautiful art, some really good fight scenes. And I always look for the combos where people fight. And they've been kind of building for this for a while.
Okay.
And, I think, and I just read this today, Captain America, Symbol of Truth, the Sam Wilson Captain America. Because people on Twitter talking about this. People like, man, Sam Wilson at this point has got to be a superhero. But Sylvia's doing the art, and Oyubuchi is writing it. Man, I'm like, this is probably the best depiction of Sam Wilson's.
Wait, Tochi Onyebuchi is.
Yep.
All right, I gotta get it.
You gotta.
Let me.
I would say this is one of the best. I don't say the best, but it's one of the best traditions. Captain America, Sam Wilson's Captain America. I like the last one where he was paired with Misty Knight, and they were a couple. That was good too. But just the stuff he got Sam Wilson doing. I'm like, man, Sam Wilson is like really, really, he's like, take my shield, let me do this stuff right here. And he's pop back up and the shield come back up. Like, he's really good at that. So that's what I'm looking at right now, Sergio.
Okay. Hey, you know what? That's why you guys, I need folks to like put me on to like the Marvel and the big two stuff, man, because I don't read enough, man. But listen, real talk, I'm checking out that Storm and I'm checking out the Bishop. Especially with Storm paired with the Brotherhood of Mutants. Okay, that takes me back, man. When I was like really reading the X-Men stuff in the 90s, right? So that's pretty cool.
Just make sure you read Sins of Sinister number 1 first, because that sets the tone for this.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, that sets the tone for it.
Sins of Sinister number 1. Okay, good looking, my man. Yeah. Good looking.
Yeah.
So folks, you know what? I had all like a bunch of slides ready prepared. I wanted to talk about some books. How I Became a Shoplifter. It's Only Teenage Wasteland. I prepared all the slides and everything for it, but I won't be able to do that again. For those who are just joining us, technical difficulties. I'm streaming live from the phone, which is why you see the shaky and the weird camera with my big ass head like zoomed in, But I mean, we can still. I might do like an impromptu live tomorrow or something like that. We'll see. But I still wanted to touch on how I became a shoplifter, which is from Sumerian Comics, written by Tom Brayfogle, and it features a whole whack of different artists and colorists and letterers. because it has three short stories in them. You know what? I know, Keisha, we before we went live, we were talking about it. We
It's
said,
hilarious.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, why don't you talk on it a little bit?
Yeah, that comic is hilarious.
Mhm.
Basically, it's following these two kids and the shenanigans that they're getting into. Like he said, it's 3 short stories, and one of them is trying to get with these girls. Another one is them getting revenge on one of their older brothers, going into a porn shop and stealing stuff. That shit was hilarious to me. And then I forget what happened. The third one, I forget what happens in the third one.
Well,
But
the photo.
Yes. And they
that
have
the
to tell their
parents
parents.
Yeah.
Like those, I was laughing on almost every single page. Like, just, it was perfect. I gotta go get it now.
No, real talk. Yeah, it was legit. It was hilarious. I loved like the little Easter eggs throughout the book, like of like the pop culture from the 90s. So I believe this takes place like
Yes.
mid-ish to late 90s, right?
Yeah.
It's about a couple buddies, teenagers, a couple dudes, and kind of just, like Keisha said, the shenanigans that they go through, being petty. I wouldn't even say petty criminals, but just, the shit that teenagers get into sometimes, man. So really shout out to Tom Brayfogle. I had the book on my pull list, physical. I saw the previews for it a while back, but the shipment got delayed, so I wasn't able to get a physical copy. Tom hooked it up with the review copy, and just love the different styles of arts, vibrant, fun from all the different artists, and actually we even have Hassan lettering the last story, the one featuring the photo that the parents find. So in that story, the parents find back when we used to take photos to the print shop, right? Right? They find a photo with this really particular kind of just messed up, scenario, and the kids are left trying to explain what it happens to their parents who are clearly disturbed. And I even like how Tom, the parents, they weren't concerned about what you would think they would be concerned about, and so there was kind of like a relief to the kids, right? Really a sign of the times, right, of the 90s.
Yeah.
Which is maybe what a parent's reaction would be now. But I can't recommend it enough. From Sumerian comics, folks, How I Became a Shoplifter, and speaking of teenage shenanigans, another one is It's Only Teenage Wasteland #3, and that is of course from Dark Horse Comics, written by Kurt Pierce. On art, Jacoby Salcedo. On colors is Mark Dale, and on letters, Micah Myers. And straight up, no word of a lie, for me, this is like one of my favorite reads right now. It's that good. Another just fun kind of slice of life teenage adventure, but with the twist of this sci-fi kind of dystopian world that these characters find themselves in. And what's so great about this book is really the synergy between all the creatives on the book. Great storytelling, how Kurt is fleshing out these characters. I love the art. Again, I wish I had those preview pages for you guys to check out. But yeah, like Mark Dale, I love his colors, man. Have you guys had the chance to check this one out?
I hadn't had a chance to check out 3, but
Okay.
and I did check out the shop. I actually saw Shoplifting, How I Became a Shoplifter in the store, and it did catch my attention. But didn't make my list that week.
Okay.
So it's good that y'all talked about it. I think I may go back and look at it again. Cause I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a skew views. It's a skew view. I felt like when I was looking through it, I felt like I was looking through a Kevin Smith movie. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
that's what I felt like. I said, okay.
yeah.
Absolutely fair. And did I hear you say like a skewed view?
Yeah, that's what it's the skew view universe. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely it's from the viewpoint of like, you know, white teenage boys, you know, young men. So it's funny, and I do that's a good comparison, Marklin. And we're talking about how I became a shoplifter here. Kevin Smith kind of style. And actually, I think they have a variant cover, which is an homage to the Clerks poster.
See that then. Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah.
But the Teenage Wasteland book,
Mhm.
that was that first issue. I think you got me to read it off Carpenter. I enjoyed it. I just hadn't seen any more in my LCS, and I was like, well, I can't add everything to my pull list all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back and read it on Comixology or Global Comics or somewhere. Where is that?
Absolutely. And Keisha, you haven't checked it out yet, yeah?
No, I haven't.
Like if I'm gonna give you like one rec, honestly, and I hope I don't build it up too much and then you're disappointed. But I love issue 1 was probably one of my favorite, I would say top 5 single issues that came out last year. So really good. Like you think it's going somewhere like a slice of life teenage drama type thing, and then boom, they hit you with a little something else, and it just kind of takes off from there. Again, Jacoby crushing the art, like hilarious, really funny stuff. And if you do get the chance to check it out, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. You know.
All right, I'm gonna do it because I like that other comic. That was hilarious.
Okay, I love to hear it. I love to hear it. And then I think the other one that I wanted to just quickly was Harrower. I think I'm saying that right.
I picked that one up instead. That's what it was.
Okay, my man. Let's hear the thoughts, my man. What do you think?
So first of all, what caught my attention, because my shop has Sanctum Comics, a tattoo shop, a comic book store. They have like an independent section. That's why my pulls are so big, because I always go to the independent section. I saw it. It was Justin Jordan, and I think thanks to them I read the Luther Strode Adventures, and I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever read. So I saw he had a new book. That's where I knew him from. And then I saw it was horror, and I was like, okay. So setting up kind of a slasher kind of thing, but you don't really know the background behind it. But you do see people get got, and that's what always caught my attention. Like somebody got within like the first 5 pages, okay, and then in the ending too, the way it ended, somebody got, but it was like, wait a minute, what happened there?
So Harrower from Boom Studios, Boom, belting out the hits, man. Written by Justin Jordan, on art Bram Ravel, and on letters Pat Brosau. And I will say, I think this one flew a little bit under the radar. I checked it out. I'll say this. It made my top 3, so clearly I enjoyed it. It's a familiar storyline with familiar tropes, that we've seen time and time again. But it works. And even though, for me anyways, I saw where the story was headed, it still really kind of sunk its teeth into me. And I wanted to see, like, by the time I got to the end of issue 1, I was like, oh shit, I need to see where this is going, right? So definitely I recommend checking out Harrower from Boom Studios. It's good. It might seem familiar, but to a lot of folks, and it is but I think folks will dig it,
Yeah, I would say this much. I mean, I think at this point, pretty much everybody, after a while, you become a sophisticated reader or film watcher. You already know what to expect, and it's like, what different angle are they going to give me on this? And I think the hero gave us a different angle on it, because I had to go back and read it again, Sergio. I'm like, let me read this again. What did I read? I go back what happened? And
Mhm.
this girl is connected to this person. Her parents are doing this, and this guy came to school and fought. But the ending is like what caught my attention. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
so what's gonna happen next?
yeah, it's cool. I dig it. And then Boom puts out heat, man.
Yeah,
Boom puts out heat.
definitely.
So I mean, they're what you're getting. You're getting quality from them. Um, and then I had so I did tease an announcement, and I had a whole thing. This is not the way that I wanted to do it. But before we get out of here, because I'm on my phone, I'm live streaming from the phone. My phone is at 7%, folks. We're getting to like that deadly range. So I did wanna let you guys know. I'm excited to announce that the House of Nerd show is expanding. We are a website. A website is coming soon, very soon. Yeah, we're gonna have our own website. We're in the process of it. We're looking. We're gunning for an early March a launch for the website. Reviews, articles, think pieces, all that good stuff. And the exciting part is that we're looking for folks to join the team. If you love comics, if you've ever wanted to write about comics, here's an opportunity, man. And we're looking. We're wanting to give a voice to people from diverse backgrounds. Um, there's all kinds of content and websites and YouTube channels from a certain perspective, which is cool. I'm trying to offer up something different. We want everybody is welcome to join the team, diverse backgrounds. So we're super excited about that, man. There'll be an opportunity to write about your favorite books, interview creators, all that good stuff, man. So I'm gonna like put the details out on the socials, and just like that, my phone's at 3%, is gonna cut off. Keisha, Mark, I'm sorry, folks. Before we get
That's
out there,
good.
thank you so much, man. And I'll hit you guys up on the socials. But thank you guys for checking out and sticking through this bootleg version of
It's the shed
the
of
Shed of
nerds.
The
Nerd,
shed, the
the
shed of
Closet of
nerd.
Nerd, man. It's wild, man. And there were some other things, but keep your eyes on the socials. And before we quickly get out of here, Keisha, Marklin, where can the fine folks find you at?
You can find me at Keishas Literary Labyrinth. It's really long. It's right there. You can find me Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And if you want to talk about comics, I'm always able to talk about that. DM me, all that.
Okay, Marklin, my man.
Hey man, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn is all my name. If you see my name, it's me. That's it.
All right, folks, we're out. My phone's about to die. Thanks so much for watching. We're about to end it next Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, folks. We're out of here.